The Yakut morning on Epiphany was special. On days like these, the frost seemed to have a soul. The air was clear and ringing as if we could hear it. The thermometer in my house showed minus 52 degrees Celsius, but this no longer surprised me. We, the Yakuts, live in conditions where winter becomes not just a season but a way of life. I dressed slowly and carefully, choosing the warmest clothes. This was my first time deciding to go to the Epiphany bath. Not to immerse myself, no. I hadn't made up my mind yet. It was more out of curiosity. I wanted to see with my own eyes how others, despite such extreme cold, find the courage to step into the icy water. When I arrived at the river, people had already gathered there. The parking lot was small but filled with cars. The atmosphere was surprisingly calm. Near the bath, on the snow-covered riverbank, stood a small group of people ready to complete the last stage of the ritual, gathering holy water. Although the hole in the ice was a place of purification, many believers believed that the water they took in containers had special power and should be kept in the house throughout the year. People like me approached with respect, maintaining silence so as not to disturb the sanctity of the moment. Collecting the water was not just a practical action, it was a ritual, like a quiet prayer, connected with respect for nature and the forces that, according to many, accompany this sacred act. A small platform had been dug near the hole for gathering the water. The elderly and the young alike filled their buckets and jerry cans, each taking their turn, slowly and carefully, as if afraid that haste might disrupt the delicate harmony of the process.
Здравствуйте. Женская. Ой. Женская или вот? Мужское ханнавар это вот.
First of all, we go into the warm locker room and then into the font.
Вот такие янгадры, да?
Да, ровно как до десятых долей.
Вот.
Уже?
Укина, да?
Укин эти. 0,8 болды, сетімнің ері бұл. 0,5 болды.
We talked to an experienced Yakut walrus, the president of the Yakut walruses. He showed us the room temperature and the water temperature, which was 0.4 degrees Celsius. The walrus explains that immersing oneself in ice-cold water in a warm room is not dangerous for a person, but doing the same outside requires years of experience.
Температура воды плюс 0,4 градуса.
Так, давайте еще раз. Я прошу прощения.
Вот сейчас я мерил температуру воды плюс 0,4 градуса. Температура воды здесь в купели.
Еще раз повторите, пожалуйста, я прошу прощения.
Температура воды в купели 0,4 градуса плюс. Сейчас вот повторили.
А на улице?
На улице 0 градусов. У нас там в открытой купели 0 градусов сегодня было. Там
Я на улице вообще.
на улице температура 37. Минус 37.
Как это для людей окунаться в такую воду?
Ну, если на улице, там определенный опыт нужен, да, а тут температура где-то 30 градусов воздуха. Разогретый человек на несколько секунд, все хорошо, нормально. Бодрячок получается.
Спасибо, есть. А представьтесь, пожалуйста.
Казаков Михаил Дмитриевич, председатель Сахамарджи,
Морж со стажем.
57 лет.
Спасибо. Спасибо большое.
Это что за приборчик вы всегда с собой носите?
Да? Как бы мой атрибут.
The frost spared no one, but there was some mystical silence in the air, creating the feeling that everything that was happening had been predetermined long ago. People approached the ice hole as if it were a holy delusion. Everyone approached silently, others, in response to their actions, loudly crossed themselves and whispered prayers. Some manifestations of each other about their fears of water, and then boldly, with closed eyes, stepped into the icy water. I stood there, watching everyone who decided to go through this moment of purification. And I could not help but wonder, what are they going through? Why go through such a harsh test? I, like all the locals, was accustomed to the frost but never sought such sacrifices. I had my own faith, and it seemed to me that it could be deepened without this cruel purification. When I was a child, our parents often told us about winter trials and traditions. We grew up in harsh conditions, where every day was associated with fighting the cold. But Epiphany was something special. It was not just a holiday, but a day when you could feel not only the power of nature, but also your inner strength. My grandmother, one of the wisest women I knew, always said that the frost in Yakutia is not an enemy, but a friend with whom you need to learn to live. She said that frost purifies the air and Epiphany is the moment when you purify yourself. She told how her mother at one time decided to plunge into an ice hole. Despite the cold and fear, she believed that water purifies the soul and helps to get rid of excess, which ultimately brings peace and harmony to life. I felt that with each passing year, I understand these words more and more.